And we're live. What's going on, folks? Welcome to episode number 43 of the NUCLR Golf Podcast. My name is John. I'm one of the co-owners of NUCLR and TW Legion, joined tonight by one of our ambassadors, Hutch Bennett, and Joey from Sheffer Fans. It's that time in the season, fellas, where it just feels like there's not a whole lot going on. We're really heading into, the depths of the season now. Basically, LPGA just kind of wrapped up. Asian Tour just wrapped up. PGA Tour just wrapped up. Everything's kind of shutting down now for the holidays. It's really going to crawl soon here. There's going to be really not much to talk about. We're just going to keep hammering these episodes out. We always seem to find things to kind of discuss each week. So this week, there's a whole bunch of things to get into. We've got the Skins game this Friday on Amazon Prime. 4 guys playing Skins match down in Jupiter, Florida. Sami Valimaki won for the first time on the PGA Tour over the weekend at the RSM Classic. Get into that a little bit. LPGA scoring record for Gino Thidicol, who came below Annika Sorenstam's 2001 season, which is quite remarkable. She also won the CME Globe Tour Championship yesterday. Tons of LIV Golf news to get into as well, including some news and notes about Anthony Kim, Abraham Answers swapping clubs. Laurie Cantor is not actually going to return to LIV after we said that he was last week. We'll get into that. And then some future PGA Tour news. The future of Tiger Woods. Nota Bigay dropped a pretty lengthy interview on Trey Wingo's podcast, where he was talking all about the future of Tiger on the Champions Tour. And then some news and notes about the Internet Invitational next year. There's already a larger purse being floated and some celebs outside of just professional golfers. So we'll get into that. Hutch, it's definitely that point in the year now where there's just not much going on. Are you still watching golf, or are you just waiting for 2026 at this point?
I mean, I'll check it out if it's on, but I'm not going out of my way at this point to watch it because it's. I mean, look, like the event this week in the RSM's, like, it was cool because it's everybody there is essentially fighting for status, right? Like, so
Right.
That's cool. It's a higher pressure event just automatically because of that. But other than that, man, like, Genesis can't get here soon enough. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta get, like, and that's off the top of my head. That's like the first big event that I look forward to. So just a few short months away.
Joy.
Yeah, I mean, kind of touch. Like, I'll stay in touch. I'll see it, but I'm not going out of my way. The RSM couldn't even really produce any crazy. We didn't. I think the top 100 stayed what it was. I know some guys got close. Ricky Castillo he was right on the edge, and then is it Max McGreevy, I think, made like a 30-foot birdie putt or something to knock him out of the top 100, and then Lee Hodges, I think, finished at 101. So great golf to watch if you're just on 8 watch for certain PGA Tour players, but if you wanted to watch some cool stories be made, terrible week for that. But yeah, shout out Valimaki getting his first win, Finland's first PGA Tour win too. I know he came runner-up in Mexico a couple weeks ago, so some guy to watch out for. Overall, I guess not a terrible event, but yeah, wrap up the season ready for 26. I hope it's plentiful.
Yeah, first win. What's that?
Did you see that? Our boy Carl Phillips got in.
Yeah.
On the number.
Good for Carl. Good for the Sam Day Red. Yeah.
Good for us.
Sami Valimaki, first PGA Tour win, as you alluded to there, Joey. He also won twice on the DP World Tour before, so it's not like it was his first pro win, but first PGA Tour win. He won the Oman Open in 2020 and the Qatar Masters in 2023. Actually had 5 top 20s this year on tour, including that runner-up at the Worldwide Technology, as you mentioned. So it's really kind of made a name for himself here this year with, that many top 5s. Not easy to do, going up against the fields these days. But yeah, the RSM Classic, it is what it is. It's the RSM Classic. It's hard to get too excited about it. I know some of the golf hardos out there do get excited, watching the drama unfold in terms of guys potentially earning a card, but nobody even earned the card. So we do have the skins game this Friday. It's taking place at Panther National GC. I think we talked about it last week that Jason's unable to tee it up, right? Because he had back surgery. So it's going to be Xander, Tommy Fleetwood, Keegan Bradley, and Shane Lowry. Sort of reverse purse format. So all players start with $1 million and they can go up and down from there. So the way that it sort of works is every hole is worth one skin, right? Like, so one player has to win that hole outright. So if two players tie, they go on to the next hole, but that skin is double the value. I believe that's how it works.
Yeah, if they're playing carryovers, that is how it.
Yeah, they're playing carryover, so it can create some drama.
I mean, look, it's going to be a good way to start Black Friday, right? So it's just kind of it'll be a good way to start it. I mean, a good job by Amazon really to do it first thing in the morning, get it in before the football, before you start your Thanksgiving stuff on the East Coast. I mean, most people don't start till lunch at the earliest anyway, so it's just good planning by then. And honestly, I mean, it's going to end up being a day full of sports as well, like right after. So then, some people do their Thanksgiving the day after. So it's just going to be a great day. I mean, that's a great event to do it. Great golf course in Jupiter. That's should have decent weather. Bummer that JT's not there because it's kind of his thing, right? Like his course down there. So it'd be cool if he was there, but he's going to be just laid up at home doing what I've been doing for the last 7 weeks.
It's brutal. Yeah, I'm hoping that. I mean, I agree with the time. I think Prime getting it is huge. They've been kind of on a tear in the last year or two, just putting out some good production in terms of sports. Whether you like having to stream on 6 different services for NFL nowadays. But I don't know. I feel like the last couple of years of events, like outside of, whether it's the matches or all this extra stuff that they've done, have just kind of fallen off. So I'm hoping this kind of gets a good start going. They've introduced some new features that just kind of makes it, because I remember when the first match happened, like that was electric. I mean, it had just been a while since we'd seen something like that. It's always good to get personalities, and if you get the right, cast. I know they had like Chuck out there, and you're talking trash while the guys are playing. Like I enjoy seeing that. So if they can kind of work that back into a production that the fans enjoy, and again, it's 9 a.m. on Black Friday. Sure, you can't really go wrong. I mean, throw it on the TV, add whatever.
I mean, you roll right into all the rivalry college football games and stuff like that right after it. So it's going to be just that was really the only time they could do it and not lose viewers to another sport. Like football, as we've talked about ad nauseum here, football is king in America. So they had to do it at this time. If they're going to do it that day, it had to be this time.
Well, it also, I mean, let's first. I'm going to watch that, and then you end up catching some great football in the afternoon. You're going to just be thinking of the day as an entirely great sports day. So you're probably just going to loop whatever the golf was, even if the product was. If my only day, like the only sporting events I watched was the golf, I'm probably going to be a little bit more critical. But if you stacked in some Egg Bowl or some Iron Bowl, or I don't know what games are on Friday, but you stack some good ones in there. Yeah, like you stack some good ones in there. I'm probably just gonna naturally have a higher score for how the golf came out because I'm just riding the high of a great sports day.
Yeah, I know. If of all three of us, John is probably the one who's most looking forward to football on Friday.
Are the Red Blacks playing?
I think that CFL's over. I think
it's over.
That it is. They were. I was trying to understand what was going on with that championship game or whatever it was, but I got lost in the weeds. But next year, fully in. We're going in on the Red Blacks. I want to get some merch. Let's see if they can sponsor us. Maybe we can get some Red Blacks hats. And all wrap.
We could get to a game.
John, what's the travel scenario look like to Ottawa?
You guys are gonna have probably a connection. You're gonna have to probably get to Toronto, and then get to Ottawa from there.
Take a stop in the.
I'll go to.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm so down.
Not the worst place to go.
No.
Big time sixer over here.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Fellas, we've got we had some pretty good action on the LPGA Tour over the weekend. I never actually pronounced her name properly. So, I mean, her name, it's Gino Tidikul, but if you actually look at how it's pronounced, I believe it's Gino Tidikun. Did you guys know that?
I just heard it being British and it was thick cool. So like thick cool, the high seem kind of silent. It's hard when British people say it, or I guess European. I don't know what the different. But
Well,
whatever.
I
She's not.
think the official thing is like Tidikun. Tidikun.
We're gonna butcher it. I mean, it's like, yeah.
Let's just call her Gino.
Gino. Anyway, she had a hell of a seat. Lowest scoring record for a season in LPGA Tour history, 68.681. Comes in just below Annika Sorenstam's previously held record, which dated back to the 2001 season. She won 4 times in 2025, including the Mizuho Americas Open, Buick LPGA Shanghai, this past weekend at the CME. She also won the PIF Saudi Ladies International on the Ladies European Tour as well. So four wins for her. Pretty remarkable golf. I know some people were pulling for Nelly on Sunday. It's interesting because Nelly had 19 starts in 2025. She didn't miss a cut. She had 9 top 10s, but she didn't get a win. Obviously shut out after last year when she had 7 wins to her name. Was this just a little bit of it? She had 2 runner-ups too. I mean, it's just kind of, I think one of those seasons where it just didn't happen, but she's bound to win again soon. The numbers are there. I don't think Nelly Corda needs to hang it up or anything like that, right?
Not everybody's Tiger Woods or Scotty Scheffler. Like, it's hard to follow up a 7-win season. You know what I'm saying? Like, there just comes a whole nother stratosphere of expectation put upon you when you do that, and it's hard to follow that up. Like, she's human. It's not everybody is one of the greatest of all time, and it's especially the level of competition keeps rising in women's golf too. So it's just kind of one of those things. Like you say, she had a bunch of top 10s, couple runner-ups. Like, the numbers are there. She wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if she comes out and wins 5, 6, 7 more next year.
Yeah, if that's her off year, I think she's doing all right. Can we figure out her tour winnings this season? I mean, it's probably still.
Oh,
I mean,
3 million. 3 million.
Poor thing.
Rough year.
Plus the endorsements and stuff. Like,
oh well, yeah, sure, logging, performance. So
just
yeah, it's probably like 15 to 20 million after all that stuff, right?
Yeah, she's totally fine. She ain't hurting. And
So
she'll be right back too. I mean, literally, she's too talented to not win again. I mean, you see it. It's kind of just got to be a fluky kind of thing that she didn't win this year. Almost. It feels like it's a fluke.
After concluding her round yesterday at Tiburon Golf Club over on the west coast of Florida, she was this morning over on the east coast of Florida. I saw both she and Charlie Hall both posted about a certain photo shoot taking place this morning, which began at 6 a.m. And I believe it is the annual TaylorMade content shoot happening today and tomorrow down in Jupiter. So I assume we have Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, Tommy Fleetwood, all the usual suspects doing their 2 full days of content shoot. This is a rigorous 2 days of shoots. Like, I know you guys are familiar with TaylorMade's social media. They essentially film an entire year library of content in like 2 days. So it's an insane, and there's full length videos in there. There's matches in there. There's like tip videos, all sorts of content that they film.
Probably play guys are probably there.
They're there. They posted they're there. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh,
I wonder
what's rigorous unless you're Tiger and you just get to ride around, bouncing around getting filmed talking about golf because you can't act right now.
Well, that's what I'm
He's not taking any shots anymore.
That's what I'm curious. Like, what is his? I don't know. I guess we won't see. We'll see sporadically, I guess. But I'm sure he's just kind of.
Well, what we're gonna see they'll probably give a little teaser of some sort over somebody will post something, whether it's the foreplay guys or TaylorMade will post some sort of little teaser or something like that, just showing that they're doing it. But when I saw Hall and Corda both posting about shoot today, and then the Barstool guys are down in Florida, it has to be that. Hey, this is the time of year that they do this. So
What did Tiger do last year for TaylorMade? He just kind of rode around. Like I remember with the foreplay guys, he just watched them play a hole and gave advice. And I think at one point there was a chipping video that him and Nelly did.
Yeah.
But I
didn't he get on teaser? Was there like a clipper video?
No, it's its own video, I think.
You can do that this year.
Yeah, we don't really know where he's at. He might be hitting irons. We don't really know. I assume not, but
even if he was, I mean, because what did we say last week? He's only like 4 weeks out from the back surgery.
I think we're beyond that now, right? I think we're more like,
oh yeah, because he had it just a little bit after me, and I'm 7 weeks out, so he's 6-ish,
almost a month and a half.
Yeah, that'd be a little early to start doing.
It's early, yeah. It's early, but he could be putting and chipping for sure.
You'd think it's so much more painful though. I just that slight bend that you got to do, at least for where my injury is, like that's way more painful than holding a driver is. Way more.
Right. Okay. We are going to come back to Tiger later in the show. There's a whole bunch of quotes from Nota Begay talking about the future of him. But before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about LIV Golf because there's a ton of storylines from this past week. Anthony Kim goes low, best finish in 14 years, fellas. The Asian Tour, playing in Saudi Arabia for the PIF Saudi International. Rounds of 67, 64, 69, and 70. His best finish of his comeback and his best finish in 14 years with a T5 in Saudi Arabia. Immediate reaction to Anthony Kim finding his game, continuing to progress, and potentially, obviously he's going to be playing in the LIV Promotions event, right? Try and earn a full-time spot. I don't believe that his future has been assured or confirmed at this point. I don't think he's been announced as a wild card yet for next season.
Not yet.
Do you expect him to get one, Hutch, or is that kind of done?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if they're even having that, because I think part of their ongoing fight to get world rankings points is kind of, essentially a wild card is just a season-long sponsors exemption, right? Like that's essentially what it is. But they need all those spots to be filled with players who have decent enough rankings. So I don't know if wild card's even a thing this coming year. I think there's a lot of stuff they haven't really announced yet, and I could be totally off on that, but he's definitely going to play at the LIV Promotions event, right? And I think just all in all, him having such a high finish is encouraging to say the least. It was crazy to think that, looking back on it, and if what he's saying is true, and he only picked up a club like 3 months before he debuted for LIV, like what? Like you didn't play for 10 years and now you're back playing professionally after just preparing for 3 months? Like I think we always should have expected it to take a couple years to get back into true good form if he still had it. He showed this weekend he can fire some low scores. So maybe it's looking up for him. Maybe he'll get the promotions event out of the way and get back on LIV, and who knows, maybe he'll win something.
Yeah, a world where AK is playing good golf is a good world. I think everyone is happy with that. Obviously, the timing's a little tough, just having not played as well on LIV, and he had some good runs and decent finishes on LIV, but I guess a little too little, too late. But yeah, if there's a chance for him to get wild card, or I don't know how they're gonna play that up other than the promotions event. We talked about it last week. You kind of take 2 steps back and chunk your way forward. And if he's still got enough gas in the tank to be able to do that, go do it by all means. Just go grind out and find your way to compete in events. If you're still being serious about professional golf, like he seems to be, he's going to find a way.
All right. Another live storyline, Jose Ballester.
It's boy.
Piss boy made a name for himself when he took a leak in Race Creek. You know, mind you, he also was the U.S. Amateur champion. It's not like he's nobody out there. But he actually got his first professional win. He won the PIF Saudi International. Believe he's on the Fireballs, right? He's a member of the Fireballs. Good to see. I mean, I was surprised that he hadn't won some sort of professional tournament at some point. But I guess that's kind of where he was at. He hadn't racked up a win yet, and he has now. So good to see. Also in the news this week, Abraham Answer is reportedly on the move. I believe 10 Golf was first to report that he is switching clubs. He's going from the Fireballs to Torque GC. And Louis Massabo is going to be slotting into the Fireballs. And that will complete a full Spanish team on the Fireballs now. So that's interesting. Something to watch. And then the two guys who have earned full-time spots after finishing 1-2 on the Asian Tour rankings for this season, Scott Vincent and Yosuke Asaji.
Nailed it.
Yeah. No idea. I thought so.
Not Anthony Kim. Other.
So those are a couple. Those are a couple of guys that really move the needle for ratings for sure. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on those guys. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be watching LIV from time to time for, the big name guys, Bryson, Rom, Koepka. Maybe Phil can throw some old magic in his hat the odd time and get a win, right? I don't think he's even won on LIV, right, to this point.
No, but he's contended a couple times, and it's been exciting both times.
That shot out of the bunker where he was hitting it backwards and it went in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The other big story, and we touched on it last week, was that Laurie Cantor, who was a former LIV golfer, turned full-time DP World Tour player, finished inside the top 10 in the season-long DP World Tour rankings, which earned him a PGA Tour card. So the news was former LIV golfer is going to become the first to return full-time on the PGA Tour. That is now kind of no longer the case. Josh Carpenter of Sports Business Journal reported that he apparently has a return lined up to go back to LIV. So he is going to be getting a spot back at LIV Golf. Instead, he's not going to be playing on the PGA Tour. What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, one, shout out. I mean, we probably did some good posting, being able to clickbait the LIV player coming back to PGA. Lori, thanks for that. Appreciate it. That probably help the business a little bit. I hope they give the spot that he took for a PGA Tour card to whoever came in third or whoever, just missed it.
Or it was 11th.
Or 11th, that's right, because it was 10. I'd be so pissed if I was whoever came in 11th and was like, you know what, at least the guys above me really earned it and proved me wrong and, just cop out back for the LIV. But look, he's about that bag. Got to respect it. It is what it is. But yeah,
he's now got up twice.
Yeah, I'd be pretty. Yeah, this guy's committed to LIV. You gotta not committed enough to play well enough on LIV to stay on the tour, but just enough to dip out, cause a scene, and then head right back in. Maybe he's using it as negotiation. He just wants to, give him a little drama.
I mean, yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, because that, like you say, John, the whole headline, and we even had a whole spiel about it last week about him being the first guy to come back to the PGA Tour after playing on LIV full-time status and all that. And it's like he just turned heel twice. Like he did it years ago, defected. Now he's right back doing it again after he earned that spot, which is, I mean, good for him. Like you say, Joey, I don't know how much he got paid to come back, but he's got the bag twice now. And if you're in a position to go get it, go get it. Like, what are we talking about?
I just don't get it right. I guess he wouldn't have gotten it if he didn't play as well and go probably earn his PGA Tour card back. And I don't know if they were playing politics, if there's any decisions of, we can make this look better for LIV and spin it. But Yeah, I guess if he probably didn't play that well, they might not have offered him. So I'm sure it might have been a non-issue, but kind of crazy the way everyone made a point about it.
It's also a good way to steal a headline, right? Like, because as we were just saying, like last week the headline was former LIV dude earns his way back on the PGA Tour. This week it's former LIV dude who earned his way back to the PGA Tour goes back to LIV.
Well, and if you're in the LIV
Like
media
that.
room, if you're in the LIV media room, you're sitting there saying, we've got a guy who just worked his ass off to earn a tour card. We're going to make it look like he just still chose our tour because it's a better tour. I mean, it's a Hail Mary, just an absolute meatball of a off-speed pitch for the LIV to take advantage of, and they did. So probably really good branding and marketing on their part.
I was gonna say it worked because we're talking about it, and I'm
Yeah.
sure we're far from the only ones who are going to talk about it because that's a big thing. Like I mean, good for him, good for LIV. It's the ultimate
Marketing
PR dream, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, shifting gears from LIV to the PGA Tour now. So Harris English did an interview with Golf Week. He's talking about the future. So Harris English says the future PGA Tour competitions committee has met just one time since it was established. I believe Tiger Woods is the chairman of that committee. I guess word on the street.
Busy. The chairman's been a little busy, guys. Like, come on.
I guess what's kind of rumored to be potentially happening is that starting in 2027, we could be looking at a post Super Bowl start to the season. So for those who are keeping track of the calendar, Super Bowl in 2027, I believe, is on February 14th. So we'd be looking at a tournament the week after that. So as you guys all know, like January is usually a month where we see tournaments like the Farmers Insurance Open, obviously the Sony Open, the Tournament of Champions. What else do we get in January? Is the Waste Management Waste Management is in February. We get the event in the desert.
Did you say Pebble?
Pebble's February, I think, is it not?
Okay.
Should be.
But January, like there's always some good tournaments to start the season, get the blood flowing on the tour. The other storyline is that they would be eliminating the 8 signature events in favor of 20 to 22 large scale top tier events that are all kind of on the same playing field. So I don't know how that's going to work. As of right now, they've got sponsors lined up, right? Like there's sponsors that have signed on for signature events for the next like 5 years. So what do you tell them? Like, hey, sorry, you're no longer one of the special 8 anymore. You're just one of 22.
I would imagine that if I'm one of those sponsors, I'd be like, well, give me some of my money back.
Well, then you pull from the sponsors that are paying for the lower events and tell them, hey, we're charging you extra because now you're going to be at the same level of some of the other ones. So maybe you can balance it out. I doubt that's legal or really feasible. I'm sure all this is business workings. If they can do all that in one meeting, they should probably try for 2 or 3 a year. It sounds like you're pretty productive meeting. But I'm a fan of it. I mean, we're talking about Brian Rolap's like NFL experience, and we talk about football as a whole all the time, and I know that's kind of been a story for the PGA Tour to model how football season feels so important. But you look at NFL versus college, and NFL obviously the schedule's different, and not every game is as important. But college, for example, every game matters in college, especially when you're in conference play. So I mean, if you can kind of align that, where not only do you have a shorter, tighter schedule, but you also have just each week it's worth the same. It's not like, we have this off week where 2 weeks in a row, there's just not a bunch of big names pulling to events and there's not as much pool. I just think from a viewer perspective and someone that's trying to enjoy an entire golf season, it does make each week feel a little bit more important because it's a condensed season. And it's like college football. It's, you got only so many games that you're going to play. 10-2 is a lot different than, getting 18 weeks of the NFL or whatever it is. So I'm a fan. If that's what this could be a long rollout.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be very interesting to see the way they do it because it would be quite the changing of course for them to roll out these signature events and put the rule in place where Tiger's allowed to play any of them anytime he wants for the rest of his life, and then to just a couple years later turn around and flip it to where it's like, or by the way, we were just kidding about that. Now all the fields are equal and everything. I understand why they did it. Like, it was definitely a reactionary move, and it was during that time period where they were like, "Oh, Liv's getting all this money. Let's throw these events together where our purses are significantly increased and whatever, and all this stuff to keep people from leaving." And that's cool and all, but like, I mean, at some point, like, you need to settle on something and just ride with it and just see what happens.
I think the change might be a pain in the ass. I'm sure logistically it's a nightmare, like you said, and I'm sure it would take a lot of meetings and compromise and figuring something out long term to make up for pulling sponsors from some people.
Who knows, right? Who knows if they're actually going to follow through with this or not? I think it's early discussions. If they've only had one meeting, who knows how serious this is or if it's even being strongly considered or not. I mean, he mentioned it, so it must be somewhat credible. But we'll see. It's one of those things that I don't really know a lot yet.
The other point you made was that they were talking about starting, quote unquote, starting the season after the Super Bowl. When you said that, you said the Super Bowl in 2027 is on Valentine's Day. What a nightmare. What just an absolute nightmare. Like,
Yeah.
what? That shouldn't be allowed. We should have a Saturday Super Bowl that year.
That's gonna cause some serious issues in relationships. I mean, now granted, the Super Bowl, I hate that the Super Bowl can't be celebrated as a big of an event just because, like, you'll work the next day. It just doesn't feel like it needs to be on a Saturday to make it feel like a grandiose event since you got a day off next day. But yeah, you throw in that 1-2 punch with Valentine's Day combo, absolutely terrible.
There's going to be a lot of people at restaurants with their phones just propped up like that with their YouTube TV going, watching the Super Bowl.
I might go just to people watch and just enjoy watching fights or see if I can figure out.
See if the balloon get mad.
Yeah. If you're a restaurant, you need to have all the TVs on the backside and then just tell all your hostess
and they sit on this
the guy on this side.
Yeah.
Don't even mention it. Put a privacy.
Yeah, that'll be interesting and funny at the same time. What a day for it. Valentine's Day. All right.
I mean, it's literally like putting the final round of the Masters on Valentine's Day. Like, what are we doing? Like, you can't even do it at night. You got to do your Valentine's Day during the match. It's just crazy. No way. NFL's got to do something. They got to step in. This can't happen. Where's the Super Bowl at in 2027? Do we know? It's out, right?
No idea.
Push Valentine's Day back or up Saturday.
Yeah. That'd be the ultimate power move by the NFL.
But some sort of
change of holiday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody has to change it because I can't try to celebrate Valentine's Day on a Saturday because then it looks like I'm prioritizing the Super Bowl. But if they move it, I said, hey, sweetie, Valentine's Day is on Saturday this year. Don't look at calendar. It's just, I'm telling you, trust me. You got to make the reservations a day early. And oops, got the date wrong. Something. You can't.
Or just go to the Super Bowl. It's in LA. It's at SoFi.
It was just Super Bowl like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you know how they do, though. When they build one of the fancy new stadiums, they try to pack stuff in it all the time. Like, they had the Super Bowl, then they had WrestleMania. No, it's what they do. They're just going to pack it in there. They've had a couple national championships in there. It's going to keep going until the next stadium opens.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think we ever get through an episode without talking about Tiger Woods. So here comes the Tiger talk. So Nota Be Gay, Tiger's, old friend from Stanford. He's on Golf Channel as an analyst. He did an interview with Trey Wingo on his Straight Facts Homie podcast. And I'm going to read out some of the quotes and then we'll discuss. He said, the biggest problem in the conversations I've had with him is the walking. He went on to say, Hilton Head, Colonial, I think might be targets. Those are two venues he's typically never played at. Those are two things you may see at some point. He said, We're also dying to see him out on the Champions Tour. He can take a cart, and then the walking becomes alleviated at that point. Said, I think he's going to try it. You can only sit in your house and think about golf and hit balls at the range for so long. You want to go out and see if you can beat somebody. I do think he will try it, and I hope he likes it. The world of golf with Tiger is just so much better and so much more fun, even if we see glimpses from time to time. And then he was asked about number 83. He said, I will not say he won't win 83. I can't. I've seen too many crazy things from him. So these quotes got some play last week after they came out, because naturally people rush to read what Nota Begay has to say because they think that, if Nota's saying it, it must have come kind of from Tiger. Does feel to me, and this is just kind of my opinion on the matter, I do think that the floodgates have kind of opened in a way on the Champions Tour talk. I think that it's kind of being openly discussed now. I think it's not a matter of when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he comes out on the Champions Tour. Feels like they're hyping it up. Golf Week ran an article today outlining 10 possible Champions Tour venues that he could tee it up at in 2026. I don't think any of that stuff is by accident. We already saw kind of controlled messaging from the CEO of the Champions Tour saying how they're ready and all this. If they weren't somewhat certain that he was coming out, they're not just going to falsely build hype for the product months out. So I think that they're definitely gotten word that he is going to try and play. When and where, we don't really know. Could be the Insperity Invitational in May, could be later, could be earlier, could be some of the events like the Chubb Classic in Florida in March. So we'll see. You guys' immediate reaction to this, is this just some kind of Fantasyland quotes from Noda, or is this something we should actually start getting excited about here going into 2026? Hutch?
Now, when Noda speaks, you'd be wise to listen, especially when he's speaking about Tiger, because he's got more insight than anybody else really does. At least anybody that's talking to the public. So, I mean, it just kind of confirms what we've thought, that against all logic, he's going to give this thing a shot. He's going to go for it again and see if he can come back from this. And I know we're all super hopeful that he will. Champions Tour seems like a good landing spot. I know we've had discussions here before that we think it would be good for him to play a Champions Tour event or two prior to the majors. Use that as a way to ramp up instead of trying to get yourself ready to play a regular tour event, walk, and then have to recoup and get yourself up again for a major. It just doesn't make as much sense when you could take a cart. So, I mean, again, though, when Noda speaks, be wise to listen, because he knows what he's talking about. And hopefully we get to see that. And hopefully we get to see it soon.
Yeah, I think, John, you're right, hitting the nail on the head with controlled messaging. I feel like everything Tiger does have some strategy behind it. Obviously, there's a large team of people that, he goes to, and they know things that the rest of the public doesn't, and it usually kind of stops there. He's a very inner circle kind of guy. That's why it's obviously always hard to get news about him. Usually they do a good job gatekeeping that. So, I mean, it's just kind of wild, because the last year or two, we would have said, Tiger just refuses to do the cart. Tiger refuses to lean into the senior tour talks. Yet, at least, we knew it was possible in the future, but it just seems like this last injuries really sparked a lot of likely rumors instead of possibly, which again is a great thing. We've talked about it 1,000 times on the show. We think it's better for the game to have Tiger playing in any professional, scenario. So, I mean, yeah, if it's getting more and more, I don't remember what was his name that we were talking about it last week. But I mean, actually making real interviews and real statements about how Tiger would go and do it, pretty telling. And then having Noda come out here and give his truthful opinion that he does think it'll happen. I mean, all these are dominoes that feels like they're almost testing the water to kind of ease people into the idea that Tiger could try to do this instead of just either trying it out or surprising everybody with an appearance. But
we've talked about it a little bit before on the show in the months past, but I think people kept saying like, oh, I don't think Tiger's going to play on the Champions Tour. He's not really what he's about. I actually think the opposite. I've been saying that for a while now. He's been referring to the Champions Tour for like the last 5 years. Like if you actually listen closely to all of his interviews, maybe it's joking or whatever, but he always refers to the fact, oh, in 3 more years, I get to ride around in a buggy. Like I don't think that he's just saying that by accident. I think he fully has intent to play the Champions Tour. And I think that intent comes from his loyalty and association to the PGA Tour. I think he feels that the Champions Tour is that natural progression from when you're kind of done with the PGA Tour, you move on to the Champions Tour, and you kind of respect what the PGA Tour product has to offer. And when you turn 50, that means you go to the Champions Tour, and he could create an entire new golf economy amongst the senior tour. So I think that is what he's planning to do. I don't know if we're going to see it to its full extent in 2026, but we're going to get introduced to it.
And I think, there's some real rationale behind that line of thinking of he might not play the Champions Tour, but like you say, that I think that was prior to the car accident. I think that changed everything.
Right.
Like if he was still able to get around and walking wasn't an issue, then there might be something too. Like, hey, like my game is still good enough to compete on the regular tour. I'm still hitting it just as far as these guys. Like, there's no reason for me to go play the Champions Tour right now when I can still compete on the PGA Tour. At this point, the car accident, just the lack of the ability to walk just changed everything entirely. So I think that's when you say, John, like in particular, the last 5 years, which is kind of coincidental with, roundabout when the car accident was, hey, this is, if I want to keep playing competitive golf, like this is going to have to be my reality, at least part of the time, if not most of the time. So I think that there's a good overlap there, but there is some real credibility to that line of thinking of he wouldn't have done this if the car accident didn't happen.
Well, I think it also speaks to his competitiveness because, Noda mentioned it himself. Like, you can only sit on the couch and just be disgusted by the fact that you're not out there competing, which Tiger's just hardwired to compete. So I think you're right, Hutch, that shifts kind of slowly happen where he's just had to come to terms with the fact that his body and not even his game, it's just fully his injuries not being able to keep him at that same playing level for the PGA Tour. But there's a whole bunch of dudes out there on the senior tour whose ass he could go beat, and he knows that. And he can't sit there and just be like, nah, I'm just going to, sit here and try to enjoy rounds when I can, friendly rounds with buddies in town or obviously some of the tour guys he plays with. But, he's a competitive guy. Like, this is just the adjustment, and he's got a whole realm. And like John said, there's a whole can of worms that you can open with Tiger going to the tour. And it would change it for the next several years at least that he plays.
You've heard him talk about, we've discussed on here how like the events he plays on Champions Tour, if they overlap with a big PGA Tour event, like it's going to be overshadowed. It just is. And then the other thing, like you've heard him say repeatedly over the years that most of his friends play on the Champions Tour. Like, I know he's got his younger group of friends now, like his JTs and all those guys, but like Stricker and Freddie and all those guys that he came up playing with are all on the Champions Tour. And he's talked about that so much, about how, just a few more years till I'm playing with my friends again or whatever. Like that's another part of it, another, thing luring him to the Champions Tour. And I think that this is just a natural progression, like you say, Joey. And it too, as you say, it's doubly beneficial because it's just going to elevate the Champions Tour so much further. Just a whole nother wing of the PGA Tour just gets taken up another notch just strictly because of one guy.
Yeah. All right. Last topic for the night, Internet Invitational. We won't spend too long on it, but Dave Portnoy was on talking about the success of this first edition. And he was saying that he has already asked Kai Trump and Caitlin Clark if they would like to play in next year's edition. He said that they've said yes, but he doesn't know how serious they are. That was his quote. He mentioned that the purse could potentially be increasing to $10 million next year. He said he feels that that's pretty realistic given that, sponsorship dollars are going to be there. he says they've already kind of proven the concept on this first year edition, and now next year is going to be even bigger. Do you guys think that we could see an internet invitational beyond just golf influencers? I mean, if they're bringing in Caitlin Clark, Kai Trump, they're kind of extending it beyond just, the golf influencer wing. I mean, I guess Kai Trump is in kind of that wing, but she's going to be going to school for college golf. But I mean, when you're bringing in someone like Caitlin Clark, they're not a pro golfer, obviously, right? So do you think they're going to bring in some people from outside of golf?
I mean, Caitlin Clark is that's purely a Dave Portnoy thing because he's the biggest Caitlin Clark fan in the world. Like that's just a personal thing for him. But it'll bring in the things kind of go hand in hand though, right? Like you want a bigger purse, so you need more sponsors. Caitlin Clark, Kai Trump drive sponsors, so you've got to have bigger names. Like particularly Caitlin Clark, she's just like a marketing machine at this point. So I mean, that's a huge thing for them. I think it's just another natural progression. Yeah, we could see that's certainly gettable because the success they had was just insane. Like the amount of views they got was insane, especially. I mean, those first couple of videos were like 4 hours long, man. Like that's really testing what the YouTube golf fans like about YouTube golf is that it's short, compact, and sweet. Do it in 4 hours, but they did massive numbers. So I mean, absolutely, it's gettable. I think this could be a whole event, like annually going forward.
Yeah, it blew up so well that they're probably in full-fledged. Let's just ride this thing, expand it however we can. I'm sure you'll get a bunch of athletes, whether it's football players, basketball players, like the Steph Currys, the Michael Phelps, the guys that we see at Tahoe, like the guys that we know are athletes and ladies that also are great golfers, and probably some that golf like the Niall Horns and the Noah Kahans that they're not athletes, but they still have kind of gotten known for their likability in golf. So it's going to expand. I don't know who would say no to it in terms of just celebrities other than the interference or some sort of issue because of how well it did. And I think if it's something that you're interested in, it's like, why not? You get to go hang out for a week and play golf and be in this huge successful media conglomerate video series. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm super excited for it. We'll play in it and we'll get invited. And but yeah, no, I'm excited.
I think is the downside like that you lose some of the entertaining guys because I feel like you can't really add that many more people to the field or the videos become too long.
Well, I would say out of this one, and I haven't even sat down and watched the entirety of it, but I'm sure you could, not to be cutthroat, but I'm sure you're going to cut out 30% of the people that really didn't make a scene or weren't very, popular on camera and just, it's entertainment. That's what Barstool does. They're going to cut out the people that weren't making stories and hammer on the people that did make stories, but I'm sure it'll be a big success. And I'm sure it's going to lay the groundwork for this new YouTube segment to have longer term events. Like we'll probably see some other media things like this in the next couple of years. That'll be a large scale event with large prize money. And it's got nothing to do with LIV Tour or PGA or any other, global actual professional golf league. So I'm excited for it.
Steph Curry would be a huge get.
Yeah.
And it's a massive get.
It's something that he would totally do. Like you go out there again. It's, I don't know.
You just got to do it at a time when he's not in full basketball mode. I mean, that's finding a place where he could take 3 straight days off of basketball is, I mean, filming it in August is like they did this year is not going to be feasible for Steph. So it'd have to be a little earlier, but still, that'd be just a massive get. And like you say, I mean, I think a lot of the athletes who may have been on the fence about it in the past, like saw the success this year, and there's no way that they'd say no, especially if they increase the purse.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, I think we're going to wrap it there. It's been a packed show considering we're in the dog days of November here. Episode 43 in the books. As always, you can find our show on YouTube. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. We're just kind of trying out some new things here over the next few weeks as we head into 2026. but we're planning on a full season next year. Looking forward to bringing you guys a weekly show, recapping everything going on in the world of golf. As always, my name is John. I am the co-owner of NUCLR and TW Legion. Been joined tonight by Hutch Bennett, one of our NUCLR Golf ambassadors, and Joey over on Scheffler Fans. Until the next episode, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time for episode number 44, the NUCLR Golf Podcast.